you hear the call to adventure, climb aboard or walk the plank. On the high seas, only those with the strength and spirit can survive. What mysteries lie beneath the waves? Treasure? Glory? Time to raise anchor and set sail. These are the tales of the White Springs Revenge.
Okay, so you're on the beach, as you often are, overwhelmed by the bustle of responsibilities and frustrated with your lack of understanding of that new relic sword.
Who are these people in my lands? Strangers all, every one of them.
One of these strangers approaches you and hands you a letter. I was told to deliver this to you, Captain.
Who, me?
Yeah, you're Captain Whitmore, right?
Oh, I am. I am. Give me that.
You snatch it from his hands, and it is a fairly official-looking letter, stamped with a seal with the letter M in the wax. You pop open the letter, and it is a letter from the formal governor of what I think we're calling Maellock, is the island north of the cluster of islands you guys reside in. And it describes that he is trying to resist the influence of Prince Gloomis, but fears that Prince Gloomis has gotten so strong he does not think he can hold out much longer and still be able to run a functioning city with commerce, but has heard of your glory against Gloomis's navy and against other pirate factions, and would love to have a formal meeting with you to come to some sort of beneficial arrangement that might stifle Gloomis's hold.
Mr. Peelo, what do you know of formal diplomatic meeting?
Yeah, I only know, like, Elvish customs, so, I'm not at liberty to tell you what they are.
This man from Maellock has invited me to parley. We need all the friends we can get.
It sounds like a free meal and some, like, drinks out of it. I say we go.
Aye, free stuff is better than no stuff at all.
But Bodhi's gone. He went fishing, remember?
I can never keep tabs on that old man. He's always wandering off even when I need his advice most.
At that time, the guy who's been captaining the mango for you pulls over a young man and pulls him over in front of you and says, "Captain, this one here has a message for you." And
two messages in one day?
You're
What
popular.
celebrity is this?
The young man seems nervous and he's like, "I'm a messenger, Captain Gallo. You run aground one of his ships and sank the other one a couple weeks ago."
Oh, yeah, that was fun.
"Yeah, he wants to talk to you, and please don't kill the messenger, sir."
Why would I be killing the messenger? What did you do?
Usually that's what Gallows would do.
What? We
He
gotta
always
do it if
kills the
Gallows would do it, dude. We gotta kill this messenger.
"No, please, sir, please. Clearly you are men of better cloth than... I mean, he's a good pirate, but he's crazy. He's crazy, sirs. Do not lower yourselves to his level. Spare me."
How about we tell him that we killed you, but you stay here?
Yes, sir.
All right, get them up, boy, and you are now crew of the White Springs Revenge.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And he runs off to jump in with the other suit.
I don't think that this captain's too happy with us, but he might be impressed with our nerve to, like, go after his ship. I don't think it's a good idea to go.
Could be a trap.
A little backup.
Backup in our new friends in Maellock.
Yeah, I think we should go to the dinner first and grub it up, hub it up, rub some elbows. I won't steal anything, probably.
Then let us set sail, but take the mango ship. We don't want to attract any unwanted attention from this gallows.
Is the mango ship just called Mango now?
Yeah,
the mango
yes.
ship? Awesome.
That's the mango.
So you guys are going to take the mango. You leave the other ship in...
I'm gonna send the other ship to sell my resources of stone.
The other captain says, "It's going to be difficult for us to sail around in a Navy vessel, sir, and do...
Oh,
business.
right, we stole that boat, didn't we?
It'll be recognized. I mean, we can try some of the outer islands, Captain, if you would like me to. But even under a different flag, we do resemble the enemy."
Spend time staying here and training the newer members. We need to be ready to fight at a moment's notice.
"Aye, Captain."
Like right now, aha! And I pull my sword. and catch
Yes,
him
Captain.
catch
And
him off guard.
he starts yelling at crewmen and lining them up.
Is it just the colors, or is it just the Navy makes their ship specific ways and only the Navy makes it?
This navy that is invading your waters is from a place that's not even on this map. So it's just different. Like the design is different. Certainly a paint job would help. And it's not like they see it and they instantly know. You get close and it's obvious to them. Like you're pulling into a port, it will be identified. Just like out on the open ocean, seen from afar, not flying colors, it's still just a ship. It's hard to identify. Rolling into a port, when people get to look at it, people will know it.
Also, because it has that troll's head mounted on the front of it.
Hopefully all of the skin has eroded off of it and now it's a troll skull, or else that would be putrid.
So we go into this party. I'm assuming he's throwing a great ball
Mr.
for
Wintercombe,
us.
make me a
Yes.
gift basket of mangoes
As you wish.
with
sir.
a nice bow on top,
All right, sir.
and write me a card.
What shall the card say, sir?
I don't know, you think of something that a nobleman would think a pirate would say.
Okay, sir.
And I tap my nose, like, you know.
That only seems to confuse him further. But he sets about making you a gift of mango.
Let us set sail. Post haste.
You guys get on the boat and set sail, so give me some perilous journey.
What about the third one?
We'll roll it with probably one of your hirelings.
I do have a quartermaster that could handle that. I will give him the ship skill.
Sure.
I'm gonna give him a +3 in ship
And then-
management.
And that makes sense for him rolling that one.
But he's really good at it because it's his job.
So what am I rolling for?
I should roll scouting so we don't get attacked. But you should roll trailblazing.
Okay. I got a 6.
And I rolled an 8 for rations. A crit fail for scouting.
This time you're sailing as the sun is setting and a fog rolling through as you're leaving your cluster of islands. As you're heading north, you're leaving these islands and a fog rolls through. Captain, as you're standing behind the helmsman and whoever's helping him navigate, looking at the map, and you're standing on that part of the ship. As the fog passes by, you then hear the footfalls of boots behind you. And as you whirl around to where there was no man standing before, you see a man who's dressed very finely, has very pale skin, and a very playful grin on his face. He's handsome with very ornate facial hair, and he says, "Hello."
Ah, who the
Who
hell
likes
are
you?
you? I asked you first. State your business here, spirit. Captain Whitmore is the superstitious type.
I am no spirit, sir.
Sword drawn, just shaking in his direction. Well, then, how did you get here?
I simply am gathering passage upon your ship. How I got here is not really the issue. Let me introduce myself. Many just call me the Count. Count Charles Rexington, if you would like to know.
Count Rexington. Do I know anything about
Yes, about lore on this noble name.
7?
7's a mixed result. So you've heard the name. It used to be, when you go through the old ledgers, that Rexington is a name that is there, but their bloodline seems to die off. They don't make it to the modern ledgers.
Your family doesn't exist anymore.
Oh, you wound me, sir. I stand here in front of you, flesh and blood.
I poke him with the tip of my sword.
He takes a step back as you poke, and he's like, "Sir, please, there's no need for violence."
Is it physical?
You poke again, and you do catch a little bit of his guard, but he does jump away. He's like, "Please, sir, put down your sword."
What do you want? Why do you
Yeah.
trespass upon the White Springs Revenge?
He gently pushes your sword down and steps forward and looks you straight in the eyes. Can you roll wisdom? As you look at his face, you see he is very pale, and his eyes are hypnotic, but you're able to shake it off. And he says, "Oh, a strong-willed one. Perhaps you are more interesting than I thought, Captain."
Have this man
Very
detained,
nice.
men.
The two men with you run over, and they try to grab this guy by both of his arms, and he simply does a little hand motion and seems to slip right out of them and step away from the guys. "Gentlemen, please."
You are not welcome here until you state your business.
He looks into the eyes of one of the men you sent to grab him, and that man seems to become transfixed. and then looks at the other crewmate that you told him to help grab him with and just starts to tackle that guy to the floor. And these two men are now wrestling around on the deck. As he steps away from them looking at you and says, I am here to see if you're worthy. We're always looking to expand our ranks, and maybe a skilled, strong-willed captain like yourself could be useful. What are you doing, Peelo?
Peelo has been looking at the sword this whole time, just chilling there. And then once he heard the captain say for him to grab the guy, he looked up a little bit and he saw the guy. And at this point, he's kind of had enough. So he's just going to tell this guy to get the hell out of here. Crit fail.
You step forward, you come up the stairs to that part of the ship where the helm is, and you open your mouth and let out the noise that you used to command, and it shivers at the sound of it for a second, and then looks over at you and smiles and says, I bet you're delicious. And in that moment, turns into a puff of mist, and then recoalesces behind Peelo and grabs him by the neck and sinks his teeth into him. He does 5 damage. You don't get your armor. Bites around your armor. It's super painful as he sinks his teeth into your neck, and the other people on the deck are now freaking the fuck out as a man is biting people. Whitmore, what are you going to do about this?
All men's to arms. The next person who brings me the head of that man gets a raise. Extra mangoes in your rations. Double sixes.
Like,
One of
mangoes!
Holy shit, mangoes.
One
We
of the
love
men-
mangoes. Vitamin C, no scurvy, hell yeah.
One of them steps up, pulls a knife out, and throws it and strikes the man in the back while he is biting you, Peelo. And he screams in pain, ah! And he pulls out the knife and turns back to the guy. And you see, as he pulls out the knife, there's not running blood. There's just kind of a black ichor on the blade and in the wound. And he looks at the sailor who did that and says, regret that. And leaves you, Peelo, and leaps across the deck to attack this person. Roll Constitution for me.
Oof, 7.
So you're gonna get one of the abilities, the Constitution one, sick.
Sick, yeah.
Okay, now what do you want to do?
Going after this guy with my sword, my new cool sword that I got that I know nothing about.
Cool, roll a hack and slash.
I'm be like, you bit me, you dick. 11.
Roll damage.
Ooh, 6. Slash
Cool.
him.
You bring this big greatsword down upon him and slash into his back. He howls like an animal, like a big cat, like a hissing sound as you slash him. As you bring the blade back around, you learn that it did 1 more point of damage. So it did 7 damage. So it has +1 damage.
Ooh, mark that down.
As you bring the sword back around, you feel it and you can hear it vibrating from striking. What is the captain doing?
Can I stand in defense of the ship?
You're standing in defense by coordinating the whole crew, not
Yeah.
you personally standing next to the guy with the sword.
1 + 2 makes 9.
So you get some of the hold.
So I have 2.
So he's going to turn around and attack Peelo for slashing him in the back. Roll Defy Danger.
So I got a 6. Try to jump out of the way, and he does what he does.
I'll have the damage.
The damage is 8, so having the damage might be a good idea. But you also do have to make a Constitution roll for me.
Oh my god, dude.
Did you fail again?
Yeah.
So you take 4 damage instead of 8, which is good. But so he slashes with both hands up your body, and you realize he has razor sharp claws. And then he leaps onto your chest and sinks his teeth in the other side of your neck, and you collapse to the floor. So that ability you have is now follows the normal ability rules, will not be so easily getting rid of. And you're going to take another one to a different stat. He's gotten into your brain a little bit,
He's in my brain.
and you collapse to the deck feeling drained.
Dang, dude, I'm getting fucked up. That's pretty gangster.
What do you want to do there, Peelo?
What's the marshal gonna do?
I'm going to spend my last hold and give you +1 forward. And then I'm going to aid you, and this will fulfill my bond.
Oh shit. So I'm gonna have a +2 to this?
Yeah, if I make this aid roll. So I'm going to aid you for 10.
Okay, then I'm gonna try my ancient language again. So I got an 8 plus, and then you put 2, so it's a full success at 10.
Woo!
What do you say?
Saying go away. So it goes on for more than a few seconds. It doesn't overtake me, and then I'll do the one that adds the second one, and I'll tell him to drop whatever he's holding because maybe he has something cool. Go away is the main one, yeah.
So you do this, you let out the sound as he's biting into you, and he, as a response to his drop command, he lets go of you. And then he holds still for a second. You see he does that shiver again, but this time more intense. He regains his cool, and he looks down at you with a smirk and says, I love it when you talk dirty to me. As he reaches out and snaps the neck of the next sailor who runs towards him with a weapon. What do you guys do?
Charge!
All right, you're trying to make everybody attack at once.
Dog pile. 6.
We're gonna die out here.
Mark experience. You call out, and he steps towards the edge of the ship, and several of your men, 6 dudes, dive for him as he turns into a puff of mist, and they all fall off the side of the boat. And he recoalesces on the deck and then just shrugs at you, Marshall, like this, like, did you really think that was going to work, Captain?
Yeah, I kinda did.
What are you doing, Peelo? You get the feeling he's very powerful and he's fucking with you.
Okay, I'm just gonna start talking to Marshall, acting like that thing's not there anymore, and kind of just talking about other stuff. Just how much I hate the prince, how when we find him, I'm gonna kill that guy, slice him up in little pieces. Man, I can't wait till we kill the prince, man. It's gonna be so much fun. Great times.
Peelo, what are you talking about? We're under attack.
What are you talking about? We just gotta go kill the prince.
Count Rexington is a plague upon this ship, and until he's dead, we're not safe.
Who's Count Rexington?
The guy who just bit you, and he's clearly got pointy teeth. He's pale skin. That guy over there, like pointing.
There's no one over there, man.
Interesting approach. Your first officer, I assume, is taken, Captain.
Listen, you're delirious. We gotta patch you up. I'm gonna start bandaging him. Come on. What are you talking about? Why are you so crazy? Why?
Why are you so crazy? This whole system is crazy. Listen here, Whitmore. There is no Count Rexington. I look at you in the eye and I give you a wink.
Oh. You don't say. Well, then where's my crew?
You look down the deck of the ship, and as you're on the side bandaging, he's terrifying your crew. He's like poofing in and out in front of people and like, boo! And as they turn and run, appearing in front of them again and like sliding their throats. And then you see him grab one of the young ones, ship boy. The young ones are always the most delicious. And he sinks his fangs into this person and sucks the life out of them. You see the whole life leave this person. And they fall to the floor. And say, well, I guess I've had my fill, Captain. Perhaps we will cross paths again another time.
Did you hear something?
Yeah, I'm just mopping the deck and I'm just like, carry on.
And he turns into a poof of mist that drifts off as the boat continues forward. And you hear some of the other crew yelling, "Man overboard!" like trying to get those men back that fell off.
I told you that would work, Captain. You have to just act like they're not there.
What was that thing?
I don't know. An angel? A god? A monster? Who knows?
And you sure you're all right?
Oh, I'm definitely a little lazy. And I just kind of wobble there for a second.
Well, all hands, set sail. We have a meeting to make.
You put bandages on me?
Yeah.
How many is that?
4.
So the crew is definitely shaken by this. You guys also crit failed on finding where you were going and shit. You guys, in the chaos of that, the ship headings got turned around. What should have been a day trip, you get lost at sea at night, and it is foggy, and everyone's freaked out by the fog because of what you dealt with Count. And it's hard to find your way by the stars. So you're gonna spend 2 rations each because of this extra time you're spent. The fog burns off as the morning sun's coming, and get your bearings back and travel to your destination.
How many crew did we lose?
Definitely lost several crew members.
Nice.
Like, I'm not sure if everybody was pulled out of the water, but 5 or 6 of them dived into the ocean. There were 3 that you saw get blatantly murdered. There was one that it attacked another guy that got mind controlled, and the 2 guys were fighting. So your casualty count is at least 5 guys.
So I'm gonna pull the captain aside. Like, Captain, and maybe the men need a little pep talk before we get here. I doubt everyone wants to hear about the horrors that we faced on the way here. It's gonna be a feast.
You should clean yourself up. You've got a little blood and guts on your clothes.
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, I'll get some water on it.
But what do we tell them? How do we explain our lateness?
I mean, I'm assuming this guy's heard of your tales. He's heard of us. He's a nobleman, right? Just play it off as pirate shenanigans.
I'm sure if he wants to meet us, he would understand the nature of our business.
Yeah, we're just doing pirate shit, you know?
I take the whistle that Deckard Brody gave me, and I blow it shrilly into the darkness of the night. Attention, crew! I know what we just experienced wasn't easy, but this is crucial mission for our success. And if we are all not on our best behavior to make this deal succeed, or make a fool of my name and of my ship, then we'll all have consequences even greater to pay than some monster who, is sucking our blood.
Yeah.
Well, Chris,
10.
you look over the crew as you're giving this speech, and you do realize that this is the crew of the Mango. They have sort of sorted the crew into the hardened badasses that are kind of gnarly but are good in a fight. The nerdier sailors who are good at keeping schedules, but they do look at you and they think of the tales they've heard of your glory, and they are hardened sailors. They are not greenhorns, and they pick themselves up the bootstraps and start waxing the blood off the deck.
And we're all clear the next time we're attacked in a fog storm, we just ignore it.
The men are like nervously nodding at you. I'm not sure that's what happened. I think it just got bored and left. Your ship is cleaned up for presentation and your crew is made as presentable as they can, and you pull into the docks at Maellock. Maellock is a smaller island than Prismont, but bigger than the islands you guys live on. It has smaller mountains in the middle, and on this western face is where most of the population is. There is the larger city, port city of Maellock, and that is like the capital of this landmass, and there are some other settlements scattered around, including farming and agricultural stuff. But this is where it's happening. As you pull in this city, it's nice looking. It's all made out of wood and stone structures, cobbled out streets that are filled in. Before the prince came and took everything, you knew Maellock as a rich people destination. Real rich people might retire there or have a summer home there. You guys pull into the dock. What would you like to do?
Captain,
Yes, Mr. Peelo.
what are your orders?
Are we here?
We've arrived.
We're here.
We're there, man.
How late are we?
We're on time?
Oh, good. Good,
Pirate-
good.
Pirates and wizards are always on time.
Right, we're pirates.
So you step off the boat.
I bring my fanciest men.
You bring your fanciest men and you guys step off the boat. And it is the morning. There are ships here doing trade and business.
I'll take Mr. Jeb, and I will give him a trade skill. And
Okay.
maybe I could pick something up when I pull into port.
Yeah, what are you trying to pick up?
Wood.
So how many points in trade are you giving him?
2.
Why don't we just roll that now? You give him a cart of mangoes and tell him to come back with as much wood as he can get his hands on.
Aye, we need wood to build ourselves more settlements on Whitmore Cove.
Aye, Captain.
8.
He goes off with a few of the shipmates, and he comes back with 1 unit of. So he says, "It's not much, Captain, but it was cheap. Still got mangoes left over." As he takes a bite of a mango.
He's eating the profits, Captain.
Let him have his mango.
At that, I think this guy who works for the captain directly kind of narrows his eyes at you, Peelo.
I just ignore him.
So who are we here to see?
The governor.
The Governator.
The Governator of Maellock. Welcome to Maellock. We are a nice cottage village known as a retirement community. You look at the town here, and here's the dock, and you're doing some trading. There's also an inn and drinking establishment next to the port, and then the road leads back, slowly working its way up the hill through the city. There's people around too.
We should just make ourselves known to the governor. Who's in charge at the docks?
There's a port authority building. It's a little shack. A few people are working at and like checking on goods coming in and making sure tariffs get paid. And
Captain, we should show the letter to the port authority, and he'll direct us to the governor.
I go and I tap that guy on the shoulder. Excuse me, sir.
can I help you, sir?
I am Captain Whitmore of the White Springs Revenge, and I was
The mango.
The mango. Whoa, the mango.
I whisper that like behind you all. The mango.
I mean, the mango. We were invited here by the Governator, and I present the letter. He says he wants to meet me.
This does look like the official seal, sir. Let me be the first to welcome you to Maellock. He makes a little whistling noise, and one of the crows that's hanging around the dock leaps down to his hand, and he scribbles a little note, puts it in the talons of the bird, and the bird flits up in the air. I'm sure the governor will send someone for you shortly. Please enjoy the festivities here on the dock or in the town. And he gestures to the inn. And if you guys mill about, after a while, a carriage pulls up. A very dapper man in a coat with long tails steps forward and says, "Excuse me, sir, are you Captain Whit?"
I am Captain Marshall Whitmore of the Mango.
And he gestures to the carriage, sir, and says, "Please board this carriage, sir, and I will take you to the Governator's estate."
Very well. I am accompanied by Mr. Peelo and the rest of me crew.
He looks out at the whole shipload of crew and he says, "There is room for 4 inside the carriage, sir.
What about on top of the carriage?
I guess one of you could ride with me on the front."
And then 2 on the horses.
No, sir, I must protest. The horse is already burdened.
I'll bring the helmsman and the quartermaster with me.
So you, Peelo, the helmsman, and the quartermaster, and there is a spot outside of the carriage if you want to make somebody ride with the driver. But you don't have
and Jeb.
Jeb gets on next to the driver.
Come on, Jeb, we'll teach you something.
He whips the reins and the horses pull away, and you travel down the nice cobblestone streets, seeing the wonderful cottage-like city built around this port. And it's beautiful. You go up the hill a little bit and pull up in front of a large estate. You were let in through the gate. The carriage is let in through the gate, and the carriage is pulled in front of the front door manor. And there is servants lined up, fancy people style, like all the waiters and waitresses and butlers and apprentices and valets are all lined up at the doors as the doors are open, and you see standing in the doorway a large, very finely dressed gentleman, and on his arm is a very beautiful, aging but beautiful woman. And the valet gets off and opens the door for the carriage for you and gestures, and speaks out to the group, "May I present Captain Baron Whitmore of the White Springs Mango's Revenge." The man comes down the stairs with a big warm smile and takes you with a firm grip on the handshake and shakes your hand and says, "Welcome, Captain, to Maellock. I am the Governator of Maellock. Please meet my beautiful wife, Sharon. Thank you for making the trip all this way on such short notice. Come inside. I have had my servants prepare a wonderful meal."
Excellent news, Mr. Governator. I feel like I'm at home.
"Excellent. Come on."
Reminds me of Whitmore Manor. Oh, those were happier times.
And he leads you into a study and gestures for you guys to take a seat. There's like some fancy wingback chairs and couches. And a server comes around and hands everybody a glass with a strong brown liquor in the bottom, a fancy glass. And he says, "Let me make a toast to our company. Welcome to Maellock, Captain Whitmore and your crew." And he raises a glass and everybody takes it. And if you drink it, it is very smooth and smoky, but also has like a strong burn.
That's some good stuff there, Governator.
And he claps you on the back with his giant hand as he smiles and says, "Aha! Now please tell me about yourself. How have you become this new mogul in the islands?"
Well, you see, I think Whitmore's a really sad drunk.
He's drunk already. One.
My constitution is -1.
Oh, okay. So he is like a cheap date.
My lands were taken from me by that dastardly Prince Gloomis. I had nothing left, and I had to pull myself up from my bootstraps to become the man that is standing before you here today. Times have been so tough.
His wife, Sharon, is there, and she puts a hand on you and she says, "Oh, you poor thing," and wipes away your tears. That prince is really a dastardly fool, isn't he?
All they do is take and take.
What are you doing while this highfalutin conversation's going on, Elo?
When they handed out the alcohol, was it already poured, or do they pour it? Is there like more there that I can drink?
Server brought around silver trays with poured glasses in it.
I'm just like right there looking at the server, just waving my empty glass.
They nod, they do like a bow, and then a moment later another server comes out with another glass and trades your empty one for another glass of the liquid. If you're going to be drinking, you need to make a constitution roll, and you have a -1 to that because of the vampiring.
A 9.
You are starting to feel the buzz a little faster than usual. You are holding your own, but you're like, oh, this is draining.
Hey, Governator, there's some good stuff right here. I really like. Do you guys make this locally?
That is from my homeland, which is far to the east. I get a cask delivered every year, and we drink it for special occasions.
We appreciate you busting out the good stuff for us.
Of course. And then a server comes out with a bell on a tray and gently rings it. Ding, 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 ding. Dinner is ready, my lord. And opens up the 2 big double doors that were in the side of this room, and it opens up to one of those long dining room tables that's nicely adorned. You guys are ushered in. As you look at your people, you guys look all right. Your retainer also, he's like in his military garb and he looks okay. But the 2 sailors you brought, like the quartermaster has like his best shirt on, which is questionable. And the helmsman is just like wringed the grossness out of his normal clothes. And you've never seen 2 men who look out of place more than these 2 gentlemen do. You are seated at the table.
I would like to pull the seat out for the governor's wife as we're sitting down and sit next to her.
Okay. Why don't you make a charisma roll while you do?
8.
Pull back the chair, and she says, "Oh, what a gentleman." And you push the chair in and sit next to her. Then the first courses come out, appetizers, and it's all fucking delicious. Whatever they're doing, they know what they're fucking doing. Governator says, "Once the prince stole your lands, Whitmore, captain. Tell me, how did you become a privateer?"
Well, you see, he didn't steal everything. I had a plot of land in the middle of the White Springs Island. I created Whitmore Cove, and all I had was shoes on my feet and a small ship, and I've managed to convince a crew to fight by my side, and, well, when you have nothing left, turning to piracy is an easy way to get yourself going.
Oh. Roll charisma.
5.
The wife, Sharon, says, "Oh, piracy. How barbaric."
I pay you no mind. It just be a term. I suppose the proper term is privateering.
Well, there's quite a difference, sir. Pirates are thieves.
I'm going to intervene and I'll use charisma and I'll be like, "Madam, we are merchants. But to make sure that our ships are safe at sea, we must go out there and fight the other pirates. And if we take some of what they have, yes, maybe we are pirates, but we're pirating the pirates. It's not too bad. Also, we need to gather forces if we're going to take on the prince. Cleaning up the seas is the best way to do it."
Roll charisma.
Yeah, what's up, baby? 12.
She looks at you, and as you finish speaking, she kind of smirks and she places her hand on top of your head. And she says, "This is true. Cleaning up the seas will certainly be a crucial way to keep control of our trade routes and to keep our independence from this thief prince. And she smiles at you again. The Governator says, "Yeah, this is the reason I have invited you here today. We have heard of your tales, Captain. You have fought the prince's great admiral, Graveslammer, and lived to tell the tale. You have sunk hostile pirate vessels in the neighboring waters. Maybe it was not your intention, but you have made our lives easier by putting pressure on the prince and the pirates. And it is my hope that we can come to an agreement that will keep Maellock free of the prince's influence."
Well, that sounds good to my ears.
Yeah, I'm gonna look around the table and just be like, alliance, 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 and just start pointing
And
at everyone.
I want my crew back me up. These are my most trusted men, and if they think an alliance is a good idea with you, then an alliance we shall have.
So as you say that, your main man, Jeb, is right there, lifts his drink and says, "Here, here." And the quartermaster sees that, "Yes, sir." And then the helmsman literally is cramming food in his face and then looks over you guys and goes, "What? Oh, sorry, I wasn't paying attention." And the Governator says, "Well, then it is up to terms. What do you expect from an alliance with Maellock?"
If we be to be amassing a fleet that could rival that of the prince's forces, we'll be needing some ships, supplies, and men.
"I'll use my warships to keep these waters safe for trade to my island, and that is my intent. But if you do truly make progress against the prince, when you call for Maellock's aids, every ship will be sent in my name to aid the great captain."
And to cement our alliance, let us endeavor under a quest to rid our lands of the blight of pirate Captain Gallo.
As you say Gallows, he slams his fist on the table and looks really fucking angry for a moment, and then takes a breath and says, "Oh, my apologies. Captain Gallows has been a thorn in my side for a long time. If you could get rid of Captain Gallows, then I will be indebted to you, for sure, beyond that of just our alliance. Also, we've had some of your mangoes. They are very good."
So it's settled. Bring in the mangoes.
Quartermaster just looks around and then just elbows the helmsman, and the helmsman's looking around and like pulls a mango out of his pocket.
Where's the gift basket?
"Oh," and the quartermaster pulls out the gift basket. "I forgot about the biscuits, Captain. I'm sorry." And places it on the table. It's like a basket that's been woven, and then there's not really ribbon as much as twine, but it's turned into several bows. And then there is a little card stamped with your family seal on it.
Let us seal this with some of your fabulous liquor and these mangoes, and on the morrow we work together to rid ourselves of pirate Captain Gallows.
Here, here, and I raise my glass.
Everyone cheers with you, and you guys clink glasses. The card says something silly on it when he opens it up.
Live, laugh, rum.
That's so much better. That's 100 times better. That's exactly what I was looking for. Yes. It is what a rich person thinks a pirate would say. And so it's a rich suburbanite mom or whatever. Live, laugh, love.
That's great.
Exactly what it says. And Sharon actually thinks it's cute. She's like, "Oh, it's so cute." I'm going to say that they're going to send more trade ships to your thing. He did promise you his warships. So dinner is served, and then you guys are ushered in. Dinner is delicious. You have the stuffed mushrooms. You're served like game hens that are excellent. And then you are ushered into a different sitting room, like a library this time, maybe with a billiards table. And you are served coffee with booze in it. It's a fancy after dinner thing. And small slices of cake come around, a very delicate chocolate cake that is very rich. The Governator says, "I'm glad we were able to ally our peoples. But what is your plan against Prince Gloomis? It's going to take more than just sheeps and men."
I use the heart of the people and gain influence along these lands You cannot rule forever over those who do not want to be ruled over.
The rebellion then. Prince Gloomis' commander, Heelstorm, really keeps a tight hold on the main island. It will be difficult to bring a rebellion up under her nose.
We're just gonna be pirates until people follow us? What is the plan?
When we amass enough forces, we can start taking his ships down one by one. On the outskirts at first, but that will scare him into amassing his forces into one place where we can take them out with a series of strategic barrages. They're invading us on these lands. We have the advantage.
Roll charisma.
He nods. He's like, I am glad you are thinking strategically. It will take a keen military mind to defeat all of Prince Gloomis' men. Rear Admiral has proven himself to be quite dangerous in the waters. And with Commander Heelstorm holding down the land, these two pillars keep his military together.
I want to say, like, under my breath, like, I don't understand why we just don't go over there and kill him. Why we got to do all this extra stuff? And I'm just
How
saying,
do you
like, I'm just
intend to
saying,
kill him? You just going to walk into the capital with his battalion of 1,000 men at his command? You alone?
sneak. I would sneak in there. I'm very sneaky. I'm an elf.
Well, if you want to talk of subterfuge and assassins, you will do it elsewhere. We conduct ourselves with pride and strength and honor in this house.
God damn it, honor. Sorry, sir, Mr.
It is
Governator.
okay. He claps you on the back. You are good men of the sea. I understand you are rough around the edges. This is why the captain probably keeps you around to get things done.
Do you guys want to do anything else while you're at the manor?
Does he have a scholar or like a professor or some kind of learned man in the castle that can help me with this sword? Look at it, like examine it for me? Mr. Governor, sir, I have this sword that I recently acquired and I'd like to learn more about it. Do you have maybe have a library or someone who could help me look through some books?
Roll charisma.
9.
He looks at the sword and says,
Wow, this is most unusual sword made of crystal. Is it actually an effective weapon, or is this just a trinket for a wall hanging?
I've used it a few times. It's very sturdy. It cuts well.
and he goes over to one of his servants and says something to them, and they usher you to follow them and lead you into another part of his mansion, his estate. And you go through like a greenhouse that's got like crazy plants and with like experiments happening on them, like weird shit going on, and leads you into a study behind the greenhouse and opens the door, and there is a elvish woman poring over a stack of books, and she looks up. She says, can I help you?
And I greet her in the traditional elvish way.
She sees that, she kind of rolls her eyes. She's like, I left Elvish Society for a reason.
Hey, me too. Okay, well, I got this sword, and I was wondering if you knew anything about it.
Sword. She's not, she like half looks up from her readings and then double takes at it as seeing that it's like made of solid crystal. And she's like, where did you get this sword?
In a dungeon. It's a long story.
That's real helpful if you want me to help you help me help you.
I'd be found in the depths of the Isle of Prismont.
I let her know that it was a temple for the keepers.
Keepers. In what island?
Just outside of Prismont.
And she takes it and she starts fiddling with it and studying it, and at some point she very lightly like taps it with like a rubber mallet, like a doctor would use to test your reflexes in an old cartoon, and she hears it start to hum. She says, oh, this is very unusual. It will take some time for me to study this, but I can tell you that this is certainly a magically imbued weapon. What is your intentions with?
To kill the prince.
She shrugs. Interesting. Well, I think you will find that many of these magical artifacts require you to attune yourself. Perhaps we could give that a try. And she hands you back the sword. Roll charisma.
6.
You take a deep breath as you're holding the sword, say some words in the ancient language, and you hear the Governator yell, Captain! The prince is attacking our port! And you guys run out to the front of his chalet, his estate, and you can see down from his hilltop dwelling there is a group of 3 naval ships of the Crown creating a blockade to prevent ships leaving and arriving at this port.
Wow, this bastard! Look at him! He's trying to blockade my island to weaken me, to make me fall to his demands. I thought I had more time. Somebody must have rolled a fail.
Tell me, Governator, where be your mortars?
It might be dangerous to outright attack them, because they will come back stronger and more hostile.
Then what do we do?
Maybe you being here is a boon, Captain. The Governator. Maybe we can create a diversion. If they know you are here, you might be able to pull one of their ships away.
Do they know I am here?
I doubt it. You came in the Mango, so they do not know. But if they were to chase after the captain who bested their admiral, maybe we can create a diversion.
I'll send the quartermaster and the helmsman down to the Mango and say, approach the blockade and see what they want. Play it off as you're just everyday Mango traitors. And while you've got them attention, by then hopefully we'll have thought of a plan.
As you say, Captain, the Mango set sail out towards the ships. And one of the ships fires a cannon sort of like in its general direction as a warning shot. And the Mango stops and the other boat comes over and they begin to board your ship. The Governator says,
Love other ships. We can use them, but I don't want to start a war.
And the prince isn't here to play.
your ship comes back after a while and gets off and says, Captain, they're blockading the island in the name of the prince. They took all our mangoes we had left, and they said it belongs to the prince, and that they sent us back with a message for the Governator that if he wants free trade to flow through his port again, he'll need to ally himself with the crown.
So, can I pull Marshall Whitmore aside? So we'll pull him aside and Captain, do you think that maybe we could talk the governor into maybe being a double agent?
Aye, ye be thinking with your brain, Mr. Peelo. A fine idea, a fine plan. What do you say, Mr. Governator? How do you feel about playing double agent? Work your way into the alliance of Prince Gloomis, and when the moment comes, you strike him from the inside.
He strokes his chin. He says, I worry my people will lose faith in me if I submit to the prince's rule. But perhaps it could work.
Why don't you roll charisma?
Wait, let me roll aid. I failed on the aid.
You step forward like you're going to say something helpful, and a bird shits on you at that exact moment.
Right in my mouth.
Unable to assist the captain.
Can't even talk. As I was opening my mouth, I was like, oh.
I rolled an 11.
Okay, so he says,
I think you are right, Captain. It would be foolish for me to fight and my people would suffer. I will tell them that I am going to submit to his aid, but I will hide my forces first, so they will be ready to be called upon when you take action against the prince.
And he looks at you and he puts his hand out for a handshake. And as you grab it, he says,
Godspeed, Captain.
Godspeed, Governator. May we meet again under better circumstances.
Before we go, we need to establish a quote-unquote code for us to communicate either through letters or something for future
the
reference.
governess's wife is like, this is a great idea. Some sort of secret code? What did you have in mind?
I'll have Mr. Jeb scribe up letters that will be shipped with every shipment of mango.
Excellent.
Can I roll to create a secret cipher that we will use in all of our subterfuge?
Okay. What skill are we rolling to do this?
Scribe.
Because he has his skill. He has that skill.
Yeah. Which is at a +1, and I got a 10.
Cool. So he makes a little cipher and gives part of it to you guys and to the Governator and shows you how it works. And you guys now have a secret code you can write in to communicate with this place. So the governor sends word to the blockade and says that, he'll submit if they disperse immediately. And one of the ships set sail back towards the mainland, and the other two ships come in to make dock at his port.
And he says, you should probably go before those men dock and see you, Captain. The Mango is free to leave now. Good luck.
And to you.
So you guys set sail on the Mango to go back home? Yeah, you're returning triumphant as you pull back in. What does that mean again?
12. So I get an income and a unit of resource. Yeah, this is called Castle Builder. What I want to do, I want to clear out more land to encourage more settlement building and maybe spend my resource of stone and wood to increase my prosperity.
To clear the island, I think one of the hangups is it's infested with monsters. So I think you got to go clear out some sort of monster. So I'm going to fucking use that monster gene. I think I was doing wrong.
You there! Why has progress been stalled on these renovations? I asked for these to be started a week ago.
Sorry, sir. Some of the trees, they attacked our men, sir.
The trees?
But they're numerous. They are like protecting the wood around here, sir.
I buck up, boy. Be a man and get in there.
How are you intending to deal with this?
I want to send that guy to the forest to do his job and see what happens.
Send him alone?
Yeah.
Okay, he doesn't come back. After a while, somebody's like, has anybody seen Johnson?
Haven't seen him at all. Weird.
Last time I saw him, he was heading towards the wood with an axe and a nervous look on his face.
Hey, perhaps this boy spoke the truth. Mr. Peelo, crew, we've got something terrorizing our people and we must do what it takes to stop it. To arms. Prepare to make haste into the tree line.
Your crews gear up and you lead a small army of men into the wood around the cove and come to a section of the trees where people had reported weird shit happening. And you see in a cage like that is just grown out of a tree, basically, a cage of wood, you see the young man you sent to do his job. And as you do, the big tree he's attached to, biggest tree in the clearing, turns around and looks at you.
You trespass in my forest.
Who, what?
Is he having a mental break looking at this?
We gotta spout lore about it.
Is it speaking in the common language or is it speaking in a different language?
It's spoken in like a broken common.
4.
At that moment, giant roots rip out of the ground all around your men, grabbing them and pulling them into the dirt, and your whole line of orderly men is thrown into chaos. Some are instantly killed, some are thrown, some begin to retreat. Peelo, what are you doing in the midst of this chaos?
I am going to scream in the ancient language for it to be still.
Okay, roll.
Yeah, that's another crit fail.
You guys need some new dice or something. This is out of control. So you step forward and start to open your mouth as the dirt around you rips up and rope comes out and just smacks you right in the nuts. So it does 2 damage. And then the Guardian says, "Be gone for my forest and never return."
If ye do not calm your spirit, we will come here and burn your precious forest to the ground.
He gets real serious and looks at you, and the trees start to shift and they tighten in around, separating your men and you guys. So you are now in the clearing with a wall of wood behind you, and it's just you guys and the giant tree.
You will not live to see another day.
And then a giant branch swings at both of you. Roll 5 dangers.
I jump out of the way, backflips, bunch of cool shit.
I say protect me, men. I rolled a crit fail.
An arm of one of your guys like sticking through the wooden fence like holding a shield, and it falls and blood is running down his hand. And you realize you have no men at this moment. And then you are hit by the tree and slammed into the wood wall behind you. You take 5 damage.
Ooh, think I fractured me spine.
Peelo, you dodge adaptly. What would you like to do?
I'm trying again, baby. I'm going to, this time, since it's a tree, let's see what it does with this command. I'm going to tell it to go away. 10.
It stops in its tracks as you say that, and it slowly, roots start to amble it backwards, and it's slowly moving to the other side of the clearing. And the wall kind of starts to fall with it as it gets further away, like it has a limited reach, and the trees start to return to normal. As it's moving away from you, it says, "Be gone from my forest!"
I blow the whistle and yell retreat.
All right. The men that are able, that haven't already retreated, grab their wounded comrades and retreat. Do you both follow suit?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
pissed though. I'm like, fuck that tree.
You guys retreat back to the beach, and men are starting to be patched up, and you're trying to take account of how many you lost. And one of the guys says, "Captain, what do you want to do about that thing?"
I fetch me all the oil from all the lanterns on the island.
"Okay, Captain." And he starts yelling at fools, and people are running to the ships and running into the shacks. And eventually, gathered in front of you is all the oil in the camp.
Now we're going to chop back the tree line inch by inch, one tree at a time. And when we confront that spirit, may he burn.
Roll charisma, because your men are a little defeated.
Double sixes.
So they see the oil and they're like, "Fuck yeah, we're gonna burn that motherfucker." Everybody rallies and starts sharpening their woodman axes, gather themselves to start harvesting the trees. What are you doing, Peelo?
Yeah, I guess just getting ready to go back out there. Is that what we're doing? We're fucking burning this motherfucker down?
I don't know, Mr. Peelo. It seemed kind of evil to me.
I mean, it asks us nicely to leave first. I wonder if it's a situation where the tree is connected to all the other trees, or is it just one asshole tree?
So they begin hacking at the trees and start to make progress from the edge of the forest until you guys hear like a rumbling, and the trees slowly start to part, and the giant tree starts to come forth, and he says, "I told you to leave my forest alone."
And we told you we would burn you to the ground.
I'm going to try to diffuse the situation and talk to the tree using a little thing I like to call charisma.
All right, what do you say to the tree?
I'm going to say, I don't want to see you get hurt, but if you don't work with us, they're going to burn you down. We need to figure something out if we're both going to live on this island peacefully together.
Roll charisma.
6.
You are immediately struck and thrown back by a giant tree limb. You take 6 damage. Well, the men look to you, Captain, and say, "What's the plan, Captain?"
Burn her to the ground. And I blow my whistle and I pick up somebody's bow and arrow and I start lighting arrows on fire.
Roll charisma.
Double sixes. All right.
Nice. Everyone grabs whatever vessel they have oil in, like you've distributed oil to everybody in sacks and glass, in whatever they have in barrels, and everyone starts heaving it onto the giant creature, and it's like, "What?" And it smash, 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 and oil starts to run down it, and big kegs of oil are rolled down, and they're spilling out all over its roots at its feet, and it smashes one and just gets more oil everywhere, and it's just, "What is this?" You light an arrow and hand a bow and a lit arrow to your friend Peelo.
9.
It flies uncomfortably close to a few of the men who are like, and then it hits the dirt in front of the creature. For a second, there isn't anything, and then the flame starts to rise up from the leaf litter of the forest and pour forward, and the creature starts to go, "No!" and starts to step back, but it's too slow, and the flames creep up its face until it is entirely engulfed in flame, until this whole part of the forest is raging, and the men are having to retreat back, and you're pushed out of the forest by your own fire. And back on the beach, you hear the crackling flame, and you hear its last death howls. Until it howls no more.
Dang, dude. That thing was probably thousands of years old.
Hey, but he be standing in the way of progress.
This is where the new shopping mall is going to go.
What did you want to accomplish by that? I think you got wood, but you didn't get a source of it. So I'll give you 2 wood. Like, you harvest 2 wood.
And then can we farm anything?
but you
Can we put farms out there now?
He was trying to build housing, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to build housing and commerce to get more income.
Oh, so we
Stuff
really
coming
are
out.
building a mall. Dang, dude, that's funny.
Come on down to Whitmore Shopping Center for
Whitmore
all of your
Plaza.
shopping needs. Whitmore Plaza. Catch a puppet show at the Cineplex.
You using your stone and your... How much stone and wood do you have?
I have 1 stone and 3 wood.
Okay, 2 of the wood and 1 of the stone, and build like a protected area from the wild and the other monsters, like, and start to erect some buildings and encourage people to start moving in there and build their own buildings. Whitmore Plaza starts to be the first like root of the suburban sprawl of your island.
Aye, Mr. Peelo, that sword be pretty and all. I want to see some action. What does it do?
I'm going to grab a mango and throw it in the air and slice it.
Okay, roll the hack and slash the mango.
11.
You slice it perfectly in half.
Just that. That's it. You know, sword stuff.
Aye.
The lady did give you like a hint about trying to attune to it. So if you want to like spend time with it and roll one of your soft stats,
I'll do charisma on it. I'll try to like talk to it in the ancient language, or 10.
so you start to find those notes that you discover that sort of vibrate, and you chant at it for a while, hitting these different notes, and it slowly but surely starts to vibrate more and more, and then it starts to glow. And as it starts to glow, you start to hear a voice in your mind is waking up. Oh, where am I? Oh, I suppose you're the new person who thinks they're worthy.
I don't know if I'm worthy, but we'll see.
Oh, well, at least you're pragmatic. That's a change of pace. The last guy was a real asshole.
How many owners have you had? Can I just speak to it using my head?
When it is awoken, it can speak to you telepathically. Count hundreds of owners. I spent a few hundred years under the seas uniting the tribes that became Atlantis. I spent countless years on the mainland being passed from warlord to warlord as they slaughtered each other over and over again in the names of vanity. I've seen many things, young warrior.
Why are you sentient? How are you
I
sentient?
ask myself that question on a daily basis. How I am sentient, I was forged by old powers long gone from this world in a crystal forge deep within the earth. And I eventually found my way to the surface, where I've been passed hand in hand from mortal to mortal, slaying countless.
What would you like to do?
You know what I'd really like to do? I'd really like to open a bistro. I'd really like to work out my own recipes and see the smile on people's faces as they just a warm meal. That's what
Let me tell you something, buddy. Do you have a name?
I've been called many names. Most recently, they like to call me the Singing Blade.
Well, what do you like to be called?
Considered it. Maybe Crystal.
All right, Crystal. If you help. All right,
No one
Crystal.
else can hear the sword.
Yeah, no one else can hear a story. So it's just gonna be. I don't know who else is around, but it's Whitmore's just looking at me. I've been sitting there for like a minute, not saying anything, looking at the sword, and now I'm saying, "All right, Crystal, if you help Captain Whitmore and I defeat Prince, whatever, send him away from our lands, we'll help you open your bistro. That's a promise."
There's a moment of pause, and he says, "Well, that's a better offer than I've been given in the past. And I am sentient, but I am still a sword, so I can't really stop you anymore. So I am on board. What is your name, young wielder of the blade?"
My name is Peelo.
Mr. Peelo.
So is it just whoever's touching the sword? Like, if Marshall grabbed the sword too, can he hear him talk?
It's whoever's created the bond with the sword, so no one else can hear it talk. Only one person at a time can be bonded to it.
Okay, so I'm quickly going to inform Whitmore about how old this sword is, everything it kind of told me.
Who the hell is Crystal?
It's this sword right here. I think it's a little obvious who Crystal is, the crystal sword, but
You tell it.
It could talk, and it said it's going to help us.
Yeah, and I have feelings. Tell him I have feelings.
It has so many feelings, and you're hurting all of them.
Yes.
Are you sure you're still not feeling a little woozy from being attacked by that creature earlier?
Probably not. Maybe. I don't know. But the sword's pretty cool, isn't it?
I mean, it's cut mango pretty well, but other than that, it's still just a sword with feeling.
Wow, just a sword. Do you hear the way he speaks about me?
I know. Let's prove him wrong. What
Mortals.
besides the obvious strength, the +1 strength? What else can we expect from you?
Well, if you wield me effectively, we can build up some harmonic resonance. And then I can unleash that upon your enemies as you see fit.
So yeah, I'm gonna scream at Whitmore, like, yeah, we got harmonic resonance over here. We build it up, and then we can fuck motherfuckers up with that shit. What do you know, Whitmore?
Tell him. You be assertive.
Can I spout lore on hypersonic resonance? 5.
Oh no. Everyone's leveling up today, baby.
Some of your men are crushed to death during the construction of Whitmore Plaza. And you have to stop and do like funeral rites. It really extends the whole contract process. And this has now turned into a couple of days job to like, it's going to take like 2 weeks. That just happens. You just hear, ah! In the distance.
Enough lollygagging. No more tomfoolery. Where's
Okay.
the safety inspector? This rigging isn't up to code.
I'm gonna ask Cristal if it knows anything about any other items like itself around the lands. Oh my,
How many crit fails?
that's the third one tonight.
You go to speak to Crystal and the connection's gone. You don't know what happened.
Captain Whitmore comes and grabs that sword from you and it's just like,
The glowing goes away the moment he touches it.
I'll show you what's what about a sword. On guard! And I start waving it around, very unwieldy, insulting the spirit.
You lose connection with the sword for the time. I think it's time we move to downtime because you've got a bunch of resources you've gathered now and you've started projects. You need the downtime to heal from debilities as well.
Correct.
Mr. Peelo. Recover. It takes 3 days for you to get rid of one debility. It's going to take up one of your downtime weeks of doing nothing, of you just like resting and yelling at people to get rid of both of the debilities. And then you'd have 1 week of downtime.
Okay, I'm gonna do a prep my ancient language.
Are you like talking to Crystal?
Hey baby,
Talk
what's
to
up? How you doing? You know, I love. Don't listen to what he said. You know, we can open up that bistro someday.
What are you doing, Captain Whitmore?
Other than my stuff, I have this damaged pistol that maybe I can spend time repairing.
Yeah, so do you guys have a blacksmith on the island?
Mr. Wintercombe, a weapon needs repair.
Yeah, so you spend one of your downtimes like helping him get the parts and completing the repair on the pistol.
I've endeavored to add a feature to my stronghold, which is Whitmore Plaza. What does that give?
You trying to get another income out of it?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you also get the resources of people. Just have more population to like, I need more crew, I need more workers for a job, like,
Okay.
like a blue collar workforce.
So I'm going to change my population.
The lowest is Exodus, then shrinking, then steady, then growing, then booming.
Okay, so I guess I'm steady now.
Yeah, that makes sense. Steady. There's people of it.
Perfect.
And then the defenses tags list here go from none, which would be clubs, torches, and farming tools. Militant, they're able-bodied men and women with worn weapons, called to arms but not a standing force. Next one up is watch, where there are actually people doing watches. Then there is guard, which is like a legitimate full-time guard. And then garrison, which is like a pool of 100 to 300 men. Then a battalion, which is 1,000 people, and the equivalent defenses. And then a legion is like,
Okay, so we're militant.
that's like you can call to arms and people with some weapons will show, which is kind of how it's been working.
And what about prosperity?
Prosperity goes from dire, poor, moderate, wealthy, rich. So dire is nothing. Poor is just the bare necessities.
The
Moderate
simple-
is all mundane items are available, and some types of skill they belong.
Okay, so I guess we're headed towards moderate. A militant, moderate, poor island. I'm up in the price of mangoes.
Don't forget to subscribe for more Crispy Cast. Like, leave a comment, and stay crispy.